What's up? What's up? What's up? This is your boy Danli Divine. I am sitting here trying to start something up. It is called Tea Time. So Divine Tea Time, where I end up having conversations, usually with my sister early in the morning. As you can hear the kettle going in the background. We better go ahead and indulge in some tea. So I mean, hey, relax your mind. It is Divine Tea Time. So let's go ahead and get straight into it.
Damn. Woo! Yeah, bro, man hit some.
Listen, I love music, but I like music. People are talking about stuff and uplifting. And I'm gonna say this: Lecrae is a gospel rapper, a Christian rapper.
Okay.
Now, let me say this: as anybody, nobody's perfect. You feel me? And Lecrae, he fell off. He went into the world, and that is his first album coming back. And I'm like, bruh, you in there like swimmer, dude. Like you in there. I ain't got no words for it other than man spitting facts. He telling the truth.
Like he had me with that part where he said, no EBT, no GED, but what was it? Oh, he said, but worship the BBL. I was like, oh,
yep,
dang,
yep. He's telling the truth, and he's from San Diego.
Okay,
from deep down in Diego.
Okay.
So he's talked about that in his songs. There's some things that he's gone through, growing up, and being saved and his walk. Like I'm telling you, like Lecrae, people be sleeping on Lecrae. And the Minio, I sent you and the Minio song, a couple weeks ago. He's another one. Okay. But yeah, these young folk, man.
They got things to talk about. I mean, the way the world is going, I mean, it's good. I think that is really good at the fact that some people are turning towards their artistic abilities and ways to heal and also put their message out. Like with me, I turned towards the podcast and the blog.
Yeah.
And then now on here as well, just so that way, one, I can get my healing out. Because with me, I told you about with grandma, she told me, she was like, look, you're a very intellectual individual. She was like, if you don't stimulate your mind, you're going to constantly be depressed. And I was like, oh, it makes sense. I thought it was just the fact that there was no sun in Washington State. But I learned, I was like, dang, me just having meaningful conversations, like that does my mental wonders,
Yeah, because we're intellectual people. Not saying that other people are not intellectual. Let me make sure I say that. Yeah. What I'm saying is, it's the way that we are wired. And I've always said this to people, and people went, hee. And I'm like, I said, I think differently than you. I don't think the same way you think.
Yeah.
I don't. And I'm like, and they're like, well, we're not saying that you're slow, boo-boo, honey, child. I'm not slow. I'm actually smarter than you. I'm thinking 10 and 12 steps ahead of your special self.
You're stuck in the now. I'm already in the future. I'm like, okay, cool. If this happens, then this could happen. But branching off of those two little web diagrams, I'm seeing the next steps as well. So it's like, and I tell people, I'm like, look, anytime that I do something, I'm trying to figure out like what is possibly going to happen and have a plan for it. But at the same time, I had to calm down with that. Instead of me actually constantly trying to be responding to things, I had to learn to kind of just keep it in the back of my head instead of waiting for it to happen. Because at one point, I would be waiting for things to happen just so that way I can always be ready. But then I wasn't mindful. I wasn't in the moment. So now I got it down to the point where it's like I'm in the moment, but I'm still paying attention to everything. And then I've lowered the amount of steps ahead that I would be. Kobo.
Yeah.
So that way I can actually pay attention to what's going on. So that way I don't get caught slipping how I have in the past.
Yeah, and that's something that, I struggle with myself too, like trying to figure out, all right, cool, I want to do this, and the fourth, but I can see the end. I can see the finish line. However, I need to always focus on the little small steps sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Those get overlooked because I get excited. I'm like, oh, yes, I see it. I can see it. I'm executed. But then I remember, I missed step 4 or I missed step 8 in getting that process done. Let me slow my hind part down because I'll take it and run. But again, that goes on how I think. Even with like going into the workplace, I'll walk into a workplace and see how stuff goes, how things run, procedures and stuff, and I'm the one that comes in there and changes how procedures are done. I will invent new procedures to allow things to flow easier. People used to get mad at me. You think you're better than everybody else? People will get mad at me, and I'm like, no, it just makes more sense to do it this way. You're taking out all these unnecessary steps, and you're causing yourself way more freaking stress than this to do it this way. I don't like it. You don't like it because you didn't come up with it or you didn't think of it, and it's okay. It's okay.
And that's something that used to aggravate me, because like in the Marine Corps, we have this saying, if it makes sense, it's wrong. And I never really understood that, because I was like, if it makes sense, how is it wrong? And then when I got out the Marine Corps, that's when I started seeing it. I was like, well, this makes sense. But others would say that it was wrong. I thought it was only in the Marine Corps it would be wrong, because we've been doing it this way for so long, and that's all we know, so that's how we're going to do it. But even when we got out, I realized, I was like, dang, if it makes sense, it's wrong, because other people don't think like me. I was like, I see the bigger picture, or either I go ahead and plan for the risk and things that can possibly happen. So therefore, it's like, okay, to avoid this, we can remove this, or either change this. And then other people are just like, well, why don't we just do this? I'm like, but then this and this will not get done if we do that, or either this will take too long to make it to where we don't accomplish as much as we could throughout the day. And I mean, so with it, I had a boss, and she was like, the way that you think is just, she was like, it's not an employee mindset. I was like, I'm not an employee. I'm like, I'm employed by y'all, but I was like, ultimately, I'm like, my mindset doesn't think on an employee level. I'm thinking of what's the next steps? What can we do next? I was like, I'm only working here just because of the fact that I need to be out of the house. I was like, I'm not working here because I need to work here. I was like, I'm working here because I need to be out of the house. I was like, I can't just be in the house all day, and it rains so damn much. I can't be in nature like I want to, because the rain that's in Washington State is like a depressing, gloomy type rain where it rains on you. You're like, oh God, my life is dying. So I mean, with it was like, well, let me just work and make extra money, and I'm like, that's stuff I can probably save and put away. Which
for the what?
I said save and put away.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Well, what did you think I said?
I thought you said save for the wedding. I was like, wedding?
Oh, no, I said save or put away.
Yeah, that's what I get. I was listening too hard. You should know I was listening.
Everybody forcing marriage upon me so much. When are you getting married?
I didn't force nothing.
You did.
I did not force anything.
You did not. But I mean, right now, like, people over here speaking a third child on me, talking about need to hurry up and get married. I'm like, look, y'all need to shut the hell up in my own damn business. Like, leave me and mine alone. We are happy. Y'all are annoyed with each other. I don't want to be like that when I grow up. I want to be happy. We are happy. We're staying happy. I'm like, majority of people in marriages these days are not as happy as they could be, or not as happy as they want to be. I'm just like, look, let us get to where we want to be the way that we're going. Because I mean, ultimately, I enjoy having a best friend, and with having a best friend, I'm like, that makes the relationship so good. So I'm like, once we get these things locked down and know exactly how it's going to operate, I'm like, okay, cool. Marriage is not an issue, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to be trying to get into a routine and learning how to love an individual while we're married, you know?
That's good. That's good. And that's where it comes into marriage counseling and all that too. But no, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. I understand that. You know, like, society has it where, you know, you date, you got to get married. Like, yes, you date to marry. Yes, of course. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, let people take their time. Let people, and especially if you guys, you move on your time. You don't let nobody else dictate to you how fast or how slow your relationship moves. As long as both of y'all are happy, that's all that matters. People can have a seat and shut the front door.
Exactly.
And by the way, I made some detox waters in the fridge.
I saw that already, and I got tea on the stove, so it's still warm, so you can go ahead and pour. It's chamomile.
Oh, yes. My favorite.
You see, so everybody who probably might listen to this replay, you see how we think? We're thinking, how can I help the next person?
Literally, it's not just about ourselves.
Yeah. It's like, okay, if I do this, how is this going to help somebody else or take some stress off them? Which in the past, when I was talking with Anaya one time, because I dealt with some narcissists in the past, and then after I got called a narcissist, I was like, what the fuck is a narcissist? I looked into it. I was like, that does not sound like me. But of course, I was like, other people know me. very well, and they see things that I don't see because I have been away for my whole life. Unless somebody informs me that I'm doing something, I won't know. So with that, I had asked, and I was like, "Am I a narcissist?" They're like, "No." I was like, "Okay, cool." But then Anaya told me, she was like, "You do have tendencies that people could see as a narcissistic." I was like, "How so?" And she was like, "Well, when someone has an issue, she's like, you take on the issue and make it yours." She was like, "But from knowing who you are and how you are, if the person doesn't know you, they don't understand that you want to help them. So therefore, you're doing everything you can to help them." I'm like, well, I'm glad you see that. And she's like, but other people, when I see it that way, they would think of it as in you're trying to turn their problem into your problem, making it about you. I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, that does sound a little. I was like, that can sound narcissistic, but I was like, if the person does know me, then they know that all I'm trying to do is help. It's not like I go and be like, oh, well, fuck your issue. I have this issue now. It's like, okay, cool. Well, give me an example.
Me?
Who else am I talking to?
Oh, I don't know.
You in there. All right. So, for example, let's say that your dog is really ill, and that's like the you're really sad about it. Now I'm sitting here, and I'm just like, okay, well, have you thought about taking it to the vet? Well, I have, but I just don't have the money. Okay, cool. How much is a vet? It's like $200. All right, bet. I might end up gifting the person the $200 just so that way they can go get their dog taken care of.
That's not narcissistic. I would get it as being a narcissist.
But now it's like the other person may see it as, and I'm trying to make it about me by helping them out.
That is so ignorant. Okay, and that, you know what? I can understand, appreciate, in a sense. However, in my mind, that's just somebody being kind. That's out the kindness of their heart. You know what I'm saying?
The thing that sucks is like people. So in this day and age, people would think that when someone does that, they're either just being nice or that they have ulterior motives and they want something. With me, I'm like, I can think of a bunch of people to where I have done things for them. I've never asked them for anything. I've never asked them to like, yo, run that back, or I've never asked them, hey, can you do this? I mean, it's just the fact that, okay, cool. If you've shown me that you would do this for me, then I would do it for you. I'm not gonna lie. There's some situations to where the person did not show me that they would do this for me, but it was just the fact that I was seeing how much it was bothering them. That's the reason why I did what I did.
Wow.
So therefore, then it just becomes this whole, and then the person usually will end up disappearing because they think that I'm gonna eventually want something from them, and then they end up seeing me later on down the road, and they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good." I was like, and it's funny because they always come up and say the same thing. Hey, how you doing, ghost? I'm like, how am I a ghost? They're like, well, you just disappeared. I was like, no, you disappeared. They're like, well, I mean, I don't know. It just,
protection.
Like, you're just so nice. Like, I didn't know, like, what was going on. I was like, oh, so you didn't want to, like, talk about it or anything? You just disappeared? All right, cool. And then they're like, why are you acting weird? I'm not acting weird. You left, so what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be like, oh, hey, you're back? Like, oh.
Now who's the narcissist?
I'm like, you disappeared, so that lets me know you want nothing to do with me. So why are we going to have a conversation now?
Yeah, but and from on the opposite end, it's like in that type of situation, it's like, I helped you out of the kindness of my heart because I wanted to, and then you ghosted me, which makes me feel like you kind of low-key used me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people always think about themselves. In that type of situation, that behavior, in that scenario, the receiving person is more of the narcissist in a sense, because really you're going to flip stuff on me when I helped you out. I didn't have to help you out. I could have let you sit there in your problem, with your dog being sick and dying, and your dog would have died. Then what would you have done? Cremated your dog and kept it pushing? You'd have been really hurt. But I saw the pain, and because I saw the pain because of the feeler that I am, because I'm an emotional person, because of humanity, I am a human. I'm in tune with my humanity side, whatever the daggone term is.
I hate being human. Sorry.
I get over it. It's like, I'm going to be faulted because I care. Just because majority of the people in this world don't care anymore doesn't mean I should be penalized for going out of my way and caring about my fellow humans that walk this earth. That's what humanity is about. You know what I'm saying? That's what being a person is about, is caring for your neighbor and loving your neighbor and helping somebody out when they're in need. That's why the daggone homeless rate is so stinking high. Because people don't care about nobody but themselves.
I can't really even go. You can't really say that that's the reason why the homeless rate is so high. I feel like the reason the homeless rate is so high is the fact that even if you want to help a homeless person, like let's say you have these people who have the millions of dollars and they decide to build a shelter for the homeless people, they would end up getting, the people who built the homeless shelter or even a house for the homeless people would end up getting taxed so hard or even get hit with evasion of tax. Tax evasion because of the fact that it's government. Like it is, so it's like it's not so much they don't want to help the homeless people. You also have to be careful because there's some homeless people who choose to be homeless because it's a lot cheaper and easier to live in a tent out in the wild and fend for yourself than to be a slave to the economy.
Well, the ones that I'm more so referencing, which is that's really close to my heart, that really bothers me, that ticks me off. I'm saying because a lot of our veterans that are homeless. Most of them have mental health issues like PTSD, depression, anxiety, all of those things, and they're not being treated right. You know what I'm saying? They don't make enough money to be able to function and live on their own and maintain a house because they're mentally jacked up from the things that they've seen and gone through in the military.
All right,
so they come back here. Go ahead. Being a
veteran, I will say this. I've talked, so when I drive by and I see someone who holding a sign is like military veteran and homeless and anything else, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, you got a resume? They're like, no. I'm like, have you put in for the VA disability? Oh, no, I haven't done that. Why haven't you done that? Like, the VA will help you. I mean, I talked to some of them and come to find out some of the people who say that they're homeless veterans aren't even veterans.
Or not.
And then two, some who are haven't even put in the work to get help.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't be like, oh, it's a military veteran, boo-hoo, feel sorry for you. It's like, okay, cool. Did you put in the work to even seek that help, or are you just trying to be out here for handouts? What is your underlying disability? Like, okay, cool. Matter of fact,
laziness.
Let me ask this. What is your addiction?
Yes, but and that's what I'm saying. When I say mental health. I'm saying like mental health, substance abuse, and all of that stuff. Because for me, mental health and substance abuse go hand in hand. By the way, I'm going to the DMV. So I'm walking out the door right now to go to the DMV.
Okay.
But I'm still going to talk to you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they see these things and their coping mechanism is to do substance abuse. You know, so if somebody doesn't have the proper assistance and the proper help, then quite naturally they're going to revert and go live in the street. And this is not just veterans. You know what I'm saying? These are also regular folk.
Yeah.
You know, working in substance abuse for 2 years, I saw some stuff. When I say I saw some things and I heard stories, and I'm just like, my heart goes out to you guys. Like, it's not entirely your fault. Like, the ones that are on the street that are just pure out lazy, that irks my soul. I'm not giving you a penny because you're lazy. You're lazy, period. I love you. I'm not going to take that from you, but you're lazy. You know what I'm saying? If I got to get out there and work and literally be disabled and can't work and got to fight for my disability, I'm not going to give you a dime because you're a willing and able body to sit on this daggone corner all daggone day and stand on the corner, then you can stand and serve somebody some daggone food. You can stand up and do this. So, I mean, I think on that level. But going back to it hurts my heart to see people who are actually struggling and actually want to do something or who are, thank you, Holy Spirit, who are in bondage. They are literally in bondage from being sick in their mind and sick in their body and having addictions to various different things. So, yeah, that's one of my passions. Sorry. You know that's one of my passions.
You're good. I mean, that's one of that is definitely a wild thing. Because I'm like, it's like so many people don't have the drive to actually get the help for themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, look, if you're not gonna you're not gonna put in the work to get the help that you deserve and that you need, what's up, Westside? Then why are you gonna sit there and be out begging when you're not really seeking to fix the problem? You're seeking something to get you by for right now. You're not seeking something to actually fix the problem, you know?
Yeah, and it's a lot that goes into that, you know, like, for example, I hope this connects to my car so I can hear you. and be able to talk freely. But
I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. I'm switching over though.
All right. Well, I know if you go silent, I know what's happening.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right. We're good.
Okay.
It's time to rock and roll.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, man, like, it's a lot deeper than that. Like, in the sense of sometimes people, let me say this. You know how many patients I lost to substance abuse working in the outpatient clinic, meaning they had went through inpatient treatment and they came to do an IOP for 6 weeks. We still lost patients. That right there will mess you up. To build a relationship with someone and see their persistent struggle, their persistent or consistently coming to treatment so that they can be healed. You know what I'm saying? Like, society saying something is wrong with you because you're sick, because you have because you are addicted to cocaine, or you're addicted to drinking, or you're addicted to smoking marijuana. Like, and they put these labels on people saying, there's something wrong with you. But when it's like, well, what can we do to help you? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where therapy comes into play. A lot of people who are utilizing alcohol and
oh, losing you. Dang. Dollie has left the building. She should connect to just regular. Oh, I heard something. Hey, Wes, you still here?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I can't see the screen, so yeah.
I can hear you though.
Okay, cool beans. Yeah, like, they have trauma. And so because of their traumatic childhood, you know what I'm saying? Like, I started smoking marijuana when I was 16 years old. Nobody knew that. I started drinking alcohol when I was 17 years old.
I still remember the first time.
Because of the trauma that I endured.
I still remember the first time we smoked weed together. You was like, you smoked before? I was like, maybe.
But I tell you smoked before, like, because I had been smoking weed for so long. Like, that was my coping mechanism. And, and for me, even right now, at my young age, I don't see anything wrong with marijuana because I know the healing properties of it, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But back to the topic at hand, when people go through traumatic events and they don't get therapy, they don't get counseling, they don't see a psychiatrist, a psychologist, then their coping mechanism is going to be a temporary fix, a Band-Aid, which is usually substance abuse.
Facts.
To cover up the mental health. And so when people are frowning their faces up at individuals who are, strung out on drugs, who are utilizing prescription drugs or misusing prescription drugs, it's like, well, maybe you should try to get that person out. Maybe you should be kind to that person and talk to them. Maybe they just need a friend, somebody to vent to and talk to, so they can get some of that stuff off of their chest. And hopefully you can be that light while they're in that dark place and help them to get professional help. Because a lot of times that's all they need. They need help.
Yeah.
We all need help.
Facts on facts. I'm like,
you feel me? We all need
and that's like one of my biggest things, like why I'm trying to do like the breakfast conversations, and why I have this group and also the one on Facebook, and why I opened up the podcast to the Speak Your Truth segment. I'm like, everybody needs to speak to get things off their chest, Everybody has a voice. And it's like, if they allow their voice to be heard, they can feel so much better. Everyone needs someone to listen to them.
Yeah.
And I mean, the biggest thing though is like, not a lot of people don't realize, like, some people just want to talk. They just want to vent. They're not looking for a response, or they're not looking for someone to fix their problem. They just need to talk about it.
Yep. Nail in the forehead.
Okay. The nail in the forehead, that makes me think of, was it Hellraiser?
Hellraiser? Oh, God. But when I say nail in the forehead, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Who got
that video of...
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was about to say, who the hell got a nail in the forehead? Yeah. That video is stupid.
That's what I'm referencing.
He's like, I have a migraine, like, and it's just constant pressure. He's like, you think it has something to do with the nail in your head? She's like, it's not about the nail. Stop making it about the nail. He's like, well, I'm just saying, you totally take that out, then all your issues might go away.
She's trying to fix her. She just wanted to vent, She literally wanted to vent. She didn't want him to fix her. She's like, I know I got a nail in my forehead. It's not about that. I want you to listen.
Okay, well, the nail is distracting me. The nail is distracting me. It's kind of like that Austin Powers thing where he's like, mole, 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 mole. But nah, like seriously, I'm like, it really, healing really needs to happen. I mean, there's a lot of people who are like in the streets that need to heal. There's people who are in professional careers that need to heal. I mean, Ma said it the best. Like, therapists need therapists because I'm like, the things that therapists hear and go through, they need someone to talk to about that stuff as well. So if someone like that needs help, what makes you think that a regular Joe Schmo don't need help? What makes you think? What makes you think that gangbangers, drug dealers, and things like that don't need help? Like, we're living in a society to where everybody feels like, okay, you need to be tough, you need to deal with this, and whoop-de-woo. Otherwise, you ain't gonna make it. It's like, bruh, you're not gonna make it if you do not get it out of your body, if you don't get it off your chest. Because ultimately, all it's gonna do is weigh you down. I mean, shoot, like, for example, with you. You said you've been saying that you've been losing weight. Okay, cool. It may or may not have something to do with the routines we've been doing in the morning. It could have something to do with the fact that we are talking every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. You said a therapist needs therapy. Facts. That was one of the things that my old supervisor. Shout out to Jill if you ever listen to this podcast.
This isn't a podcast. We just talking, bro. We just talking.
Oh, we just talking. Yeah. All right. This conversation. If you ever comes across your ears, girl, I'm shouting you out, boo.
So goofy.
She was. I would definitely say that woman right there opened my eyes to a lot, and she is one of the main reasons why I'm going into the field that I'm going into.
That's what's up.
She was a mental health counselor. You know what I'm saying? And beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. But she said she was the one that encouraged me. You need to go see a counselor. I wasn't a therapist. I was just doing case management, doing intakes, but I still I spoke to these patients. I counseled them on a different level, not in the magnitude that they were being counseled by the counselors, but even just sharing some of the things that I was going through in my personal life. You need to go see a therapist. She was like, I see a therapist. She's like, every counselor needs a counselor because there's no way you can walk this earth there with your personal life and then pick up all of the weight from your clients and carry that. You have to release that. Then fast forward to now, with my walking, doing things now in my personal life, bruh, if you don't get help and you hold on to this stuff, the weighing it down means you're going to develop health problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, autoimmune diseases. I'm telling you, I am a walking example of that, of holding on to stress, of holding on to anxiety and depression. And ultimately, that turned into I have 5 autoimmune diseases that I battle daily. And by the grace of God, one, I'm in remission for sure. I haven't had a flare up in over a couple of years. And I thank God for that. However, the reason why I'm saying this, and I'm putting my personal story out there, because when we carry this crap, it's literally like little boxes. And we put the little boxes in suitcases. So every issue we got, we're carrying around on these daggone suitcases. Wherever you go, the suitcase go. Man, you ever been to the airport and got 1,001 bags?
Nah, but they charged me like crazy for just 2.
So exactly. So if you're being charged for 2 bags, can you imagine trying to get your gate and you have a whole bunch of baggage? It's gonna weigh you down. In your health, you know what I'm saying? With the MS, for example, on a daily, I have to be like, you know what, body, you're going to come into alignment with the way that the Lord created my body to operate. Yeah. I'm not going to succumb to this weakness in my legs and in my feet where I can't feel. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, because I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm going to affirm every single day. I don't care what the enemy has put upon me because of the inner me. When I say enemy, the inner me. Inner me, what I have done to myself, when I've allowed people to put in my space and my energy, it has caused me to hold on to this crap, and it has conformed me to something that I'm not. So I have to rebuke and break that stuff off daily because it's affected my health. That was a lot. That was a whole message. I think I just preached.
You definitely did throw a little sermon out there. A quick fast one.
Hey, you know, it's in my blood. You can't help
it's in we blood. It's in my blood. But yeah, like cheese and bread. Yeah, honestly, holding on to things that really just it really causes your body to be it causes your body to stress out. Yes. It causes it to not be at ease, dis-ease, and at the same time it will affect your mental as well. So I mean, with it, if you were to look at the Trinity, well, correction, because when I say Trinity, you're going to think of the Bible. So if you look at the three ethos,
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
So if you look at the three ethos, I'm like, for example, in the Marine Corps, we got the word ethos. You have the mentality, you have the mentality ethos, you have the spiritual ethos, you have the the logical ethos. So I'm like, when all three of those come together, that's what creates the person. But I'm like, if you're constantly stressing out, that's going to be affecting your mental. I'm like, and then at the same time, it also will affect your physical when it actually starts to manifest in a physical way. I was like, which then at the same time, with it messing with your mental and your physical, now it's going to ultimately mess with who you are as an individual. So now you are not going to be who you are supposed to be because you're dealing with all these things and you're holding on to all these things. It's slowing you down overall.
Yep. You said that so exquisitely.
Oh my gosh, and that is why CJ's running around. It's exquisite. Yes.
So let me tell you why your nephew's running around like that. So I pulled a page out of Mom's book, and it's funny because me and Cornell are on the same page regarding this. Mm-hmm. Your lovely nephews are running around. Oh, it's bussin'. Spell it. Couldn't spell bussin'. It's the same word twice. Mm-hmm. Couldn't spell it. We took it back to our childhood. Hey, yo, if you can't spell it, don't say it. Matter of fact, don't use no slang because you can barely talk. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn new words. I'm going to teach y'all big words. Both your parents are in college. We both have high school diplomas. And we are in higher learning because we want to, achieve a higher level of education. And in doing so, I want to make sure my Black king can speak on an intellectual level. So I told that little boy, don't say bussin' no more. You have a plethora of words in your arsenal for you to use. So now you're going to use big words to describe the minute things that you see. Mom, this meal is exquisite. Thank you. Mom, this meal is immaculate. Thank you. Mom, you did a fantastic job. Thank you. That's how I want my kids to talk.
Mom, that girl over there is a thought.
Well, you know what? I cast out that thought right now in the name of Jesus.
Then again, with us being old souls, you know one of them going to be like, that's a jump off.
Man.
You sketel.
Leave that head alone. Leave that fast tail girl alone. Hey.
Chicken head. Oh, Lord.
Go sit down somewhere.
Oh, that's seasoned bread.
It's just gonna be funny when my kids become teenagers. Because they're rolling now with my comebacks to the stuff that my kids say. Like freaking Joshua.
What up? It's your boy Danli Divine. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, and tell anybody else about it. All I'm trying to do is just pass words of positivity, affirmations, short stories, and check out the new website I have called divinetime.blog. If you have any stories that you want to share, but you feel that you can't share them yourself, go ahead and hit me up with an email at Danli@divinetime.blog. That's DANLI DLI, the @ symbol, divinetime.blog. And I'll be more than happy to share your story in my own voice, so that way you stay anonymous. Again, hit me up anywhere and share this as well. And also, at the end of every month, I plan to start doing a raffle. I'm going to see how this goes. I'll keep you tuned in to let you know how that's going to go about.